Well, click, click, get ready for your Kodak moment.
Welcome to One-on-One, a Bluff City Media podcast. Listen in as we go one-on-one with coaches, players, and influencers from across the city of Memphis and around the country. Now, let's get to the show.
What's up, everybody? I'm Christian Fowler here with Bluff City Media, and welcome to this week's episode of One-on-One. And this week, I got a good friend with me, my guy, Trey Draper. He is a trainer. He is a game broadcaster now. He does a little bit of everything. Trey, what's up, man?
What's up, Christian? Glad to be here, man.
Glad to have you. So let's talk about what you've been up to, man. I know you ain't in Memphis as much anymore, doing a little bit of training, doing broadcasting like we were talking about. What's it been like over the last couple of years transitioning from coaching to what you're doing now?
Man, it's been a blessing. Just the aspect, I always wanted to be a guy that was multidimensional, never, just stuck on one thing. Jack of all trades is, the old term for it, but it's been good, man. Life has been good. I'm blessed. Family's good. Got good people in my life that support me. Got a great job. So, man, I'm fortunate and blessed.
All right, Trey, so let's talk about that transition from coaching to training, because that's what you were. It's what you always did. You were at Mitchell under Coach Turner, then went to IMG, won a national championship there, and then had some other opportunities pop up. So what was the mentality? Because I know, we've been friends for a long time, and it was always being a collegiate coach. Like that was the goal. That was the dream a few years ago, and now we're in a different space now. So what was it like?
Man, it's been good, man, because I work with great people. Got a great team, great staff, but just like anything, I said the quote a while ago, I prepare, as if I'm putting on a jersey and get ready to play with anything that I do. So when it comes from coaching to training, it's almost one and the same, because you're still a mentor, right? You're still there with that on-court development. You're still, that extra nurturing love that these young guys need, or young women, because, we've been fortunate to, have some young ladies that's under our tutelage as well. And, myself and, my friend, we're a big advocate of the women's basketball game. So the training aspect, it's all in the same, because when I was coaching and working with 15 guys, I was always wanted to be hands-on, right? I always wanted to be in the gym, and that's kind of where I built relationships with my players, because I stayed in the gym with them, right? When you talk about even my days at Mitchell, we won a state championship, and Coach Turner would say, hey, give me the keys. I was 21 years old, assistant coach at a high school, and Coach Turner give me the keys, and I'm in there, and I'm in the gym, and we just getting it in at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, sometimes 5, 6 in the morning with our guys. So then you go to IMG, and that's the same thing. The only difference was you're working with higher level, talent players, respectfully, that, are now professional. So I was always making a living just being in that gym. I love being in that gym, and now, I have a great job to be in the gym and staying again with guys that I truly love.
So I know, like I said, just from our friendship and stuff, like that's always been your priority, is like the kids, the guys you're training, the players you're coaching, whatever it may be. Like you've always talked about building those relationships with them, and like being a confidant for them, because you weren't a head coach at these spots. So you did have a little bit more of that leniency where you could build more like ground level relationships with these guys. How do you use that now? I know it's same, but it's different, right? Because you don't have a whole team that you're seeing every day. You're training different people. So how do you expedite that with some of these guys that you train now?
I think it's just being real. You be who you are, right? Anybody that knows me from my time at the University of Memphis, right? And I've always been me, right? I've always put people first. It was never been about me and about what I wanted, because I knew that if you succeed, I succeed. If you fail, I fail. And that's kind of that's my mentality with anything, because I care about the people, right? And when I say the people, it's, the athletes, the student athletes, right? They're not just basketball players. Like, they're actual human beings, and we build relationships that has nothing to do with basketball, which when it comes to just being in between those lines, it becomes it's easy, because we genuinely care for each other. And, like, just like you and I friendship, right? Once we get done with this microphone, we'll have dinner, we'll talk, so it's genuine. And I think long as it's genuine, the relationships will be, everlasting, which makes the job very easy.
Yeah, so then at the top talked about you doing broadcasting. You just started that this year with ESPN Plus, University of Memphis women's basketball. What was that like for you? That was a little bit different.
I had my first start with the mic and the cameras was with you. So it was always something that I wanted to get into. I just didn't know how it would happen. And, I'm a big believer, man. And, I'm very prayed up and just the way that it happened. And Jonathan Mitchell, who's the general manager at, Channel 5, for giving me that opportunity. And, bro, it was like a dream come true to just be around the game because I always wanted to see the basketball game from a different angle. And I've been fortunate. I've been in a very fortunate position to see it from every angle possible. I've seen it from the media side. I've seen it as a player, as a coach, as a trainer, as a fan, right? So to see it, on a wide scale like that was amazing. So, and then just to be able to talk about it, right? To be able to sit there and talk about the game. And not only that, to know that you're impacting people not on the court, right? People are listening to you. So what I say in, the study, and that's why I'm a big advocate for studying and watching film because people are listening to me, right?
Yeah.
And what I say, people going to go tell, hey, Trey, the guy on TV said, to push the ball in transition, right? Or I've heard that people come up and young ladies, come up and say, I started, you talked about some drills on your game and I did. And that was very humbling for me because to know that I'm impacting the game and I'm not coaching or playing.
What about the growth on it? I know that had to be, it's a different transition for you because like you said, we did that years ago,
6 years
3,
ago.
4 or 5 years ago, whatever it was that we were podcasting together and stuff. So I know it's been a minute.
Yeah.
So what was it like from start to finish, like the entire season and calling those games and everything?
The first 3, I can't even, I go back and listen to my first 2-3 games.
Cringe a little bit.
Cringe. I cut it off. It was the worst. It was the worst commentating experience I've ever heard. And it's some bad commentators out there. But to listen,
What's it like hearing that from yourself? Being like, that's the worst commentating I've ever heard, and it's me.
It's me. Like I'm my toughest critic, but I'm also a realist. Like it was the worst. Like I was stuttering. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know when to say it. I didn't know how to say it. I was thinking thoughts. I had my notes in front of me. So, but it's just like anything else. The more you work hard at it, the more you practice at it, the more you study it, like you said, you get better at it. And for me, I prepare as if I was putting on the jersey to play. Like people, my friends, like they knew not to call me between certain times because, hey, I'm locking in on this game. I'm watching this film and I'm studying the University of Memphis women's basketball team, right? I'm studying their game. If they play East Carolina or Houston, I've watched 4 games on the Houston ladies. I watched East Carolina 4 times before they even play Memphis. So I'm well-versed in how they're playing, play calls, their style of play, what their coach is probably going to say when they're like, I'm almost studying as if I'm being able, like I'm going to coach against you.
Right.
And the more I studied it and the more that I took it, because I'm not going to get out there and embarrass myself again. Like
once you heard it, you were like, that's it. That's a wrap.
This ESPN Plus, like they don't delete. You can go on there. So, and that's my advice to anybody, whatever you're doing, like study it. And I was up, my parents, would come in and say, you good? I'm 2-3 in the morning. Like, yeah, I got this noon game. Like I got to lock in. And bro, I was locked in. I was studying and I got better as the year. So after about game, I did a total about 15, 20, I'd say about 15 games. After about game number 7, yeah,
you got in that flow state.
I was rolling. Yeah. I was rolling.
You talked about like studying the film and everything, and obviously if you watch sports, like commentators do study. They have to, or you sound like an idiot.
Yes.
So how much did from being a coach, a player, a trainer, I mean, film has been in your life forever. So how much did it help being like, okay, I know how to watch it. I know how to watch it from these perspectives, from player, from coach perspective, but now I've got to switch gears and do it from a totally different perspective to be able to, I'm not coaching against them, I'm not playing against them, I'm talking about them.
Yeah.
So what was that process like for you?
Because I always try to put myself in the shoes. So if I would never say anything about a coach that I didn't want someone saying about me. I never made it personal.
Right.
Right. I never said like, hey, that's a bad decision. Why did they throw it to number 25?
Yeah.
I would say, maybe I'll do things differently. or I'll be interested to know what coach so-and-so was thinking on that play call.
Right.
Because when you're in this position and you're a couch coach, it's easy to say what you'll do.
Yeah.
But when you're out in the heat of that moment with all that pressure on you, the decisions come at a split second.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when it comes to players, like, I know how hard these young ladies and young men work. So I'm never going to bash them. So for me being that voice, I want to bring a different type of flavor to the game, right? I never wanted to question coach's decision or questions player shot selection. I just say, hey, I may do things a little bit differently there. And that's shout out to my mentor, Mark Jones, of ESPN, man, who's been phenomenal. I mean, he's been phenomenal with me, man. He's grown me in this TV thing for a while now, and, it's paid off. And I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about, the new Cincinnati women's basketball coach, who's the former ladies coach at the University of Memphis, is Katrina Merriweather. The relationship that we've built and her actually allowed me to watch practice and actually talk to me about certain play call. We developed a level of loyalty and trust that she would tell me things off the record that helped me in this, in my seat, calling the games that I would never say on TV. But just her being able to let me watch, like, what coach allows a broadcaster to come in and watch practice
and give you details on it.
It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen, man. So shout out to Coach Merriweather and her staff, man. Coach Merriweather she was great with me. And just for me to, I'm so glad that I got the chance to spend year one with her, because I know it doesn't happen like that. And when I tell you, man, I probably went to 25, 30 of her practices, shoot-arounds, and we would talk after games and before games, which would help me because she's giving me insight, and it allowed me to show love and just have an unbiased opinion towards her program, which now is transitioned to
Coach Simmons.
Yeah.
So going into year two, how much more comfortable are
I'm
you?
locked in. I'm one of the best in the world now. Nah. But no, bro, it's the same. Like, I can always get better. So believe it or not, I used to watch games. Like, I didn't like to hear the commentators.
Yeah.
But I listen to Brevin Knight. I listen to Pete now. Like, I listen to Mark, Doris Burt. Like, I actually listen, and it's funny because, my guy JT, shout out JT, shout out to Mo, they always laugh at me because now we watch games together. I'm like, hey, can you rewind that? Let me hear what he said.
Yeah.
And they be like, here you go with your commentary stuff again. You know what I'm saying? Or we be watching the game. But I want to hear it because I know that this is another journey that I'm on, man, that God has placed in my life at the moment. So I want to be the best at it. I want to be the best at it, and I want to impact the game from every angle possible because I love basketball. And what basketball has done for my life, I mean, you've been knowing me, you watched me in college, but you also, seen me grow over the years. So what basketball has done for me has totally changed.
Completely.
It's changed my life. So, if you love it, it'll love you back. And that's kind of where I'm at with it.
So what's the balance like between, and I know a lot of people might be wondering about that, like if you're doing broadcasting, if you're doing training, if you're in different cities all the time, all around the country, like what's the balance? Like how do you keep it level?
Bro, it's hard. It's hard. But I mean, I'm young, bro. Like you can't ask for, food to eat and then complain when it's a lot on your plate.
Yeah.
Right. And for me to, I'm young to be in my profession, working with the best NBA player, in the league right now. And I say that, but also being able to work in television, all before you're 30 years old, like that doesn't happen, and I just want to inspire people that look like me, that work hard, that just say, you can do it too, because I'm not the tallest, I wasn't the most athletic, but I worked hard, and that's kind of where I'm at with it, with whatever I do. I want to inspire. It's not about me. It's never, it's really not about me. And it's never really been about me because I always put people first, even in my profession. When you talk about coaching and when I was teaching, right? You had to take care of your students. You had to take care of your players because in turn, how they're feeling, their success in the classroom, their test passing rate, or the amount of games we win determines my success. So that's kind of where I'm at with it, bro. So when you talk about balance, I'm at the point of like, hey, the goal is to eat. You can't complain. You got a lot on the plate.
Right. So with all the stuff that you've done in your life, and I know how you are, you're analytical, you break stuff down, you look into detail and things. What do you take from each aspect? Player, coach, teacher, trainer, on-air personality, all these different things that you've done. Like, what do you pick up from each of those things?
So from a player standpoint, it's about teamwork, right? So being a team player, because it's in the game of basketball, it's about winning. And Christian may have 30 points. Trey may have 2, right? But if the score is 32 to 15 and Christian and Trey won, I'm cool with that. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of, what I took from being a player. From being a teacher, it just was like learning the environment and adapting to anything. Because working in inner city Memphis was tough because you once was that child. And that nurturing, so I got that big. I'm already a big brother, but I got that a little bit more when I became a teacher, because I was 21 teaching high school students, right? So I had to command the voice. So I had to adapt very quick. I had to grow up fast. It wasn't just, hey, do this work. Like, no, you're a teacher, bro. Like,
right.
You have to.
And being young, that there was going to be kids that tested you.
They yes.
Yeah.
And so I had to build that relationship, man, with those students. And so getting that nurturing aspect is what I took from teaching. From a coaching aspect, I took just going the extra mile, right? Going the extra mile, because I would do anything to see my young men be successful. Like I would do whatever just to see. I would stay in the gym 24 hours if I knew that you have an opportunity to go to the NBA, right? And that's what I got at IMG. Just the facilities, IMG is the best high school in the world. So going that extra mile, being there with those kids, and just that's what I took from being a coach. Because with the film watching, right? Like, these are high school kids, and I know, but I had to they would piss you off sometimes.
Oh,
Make you mad.
Oh, yeah. They definitely try to test you.
So you keep that in the back of your mind. The training aspect is just the same. I can say the same thing. Just going the extra mile, being there, and just really willing to do whatever to see whatever athlete, that I'm working with at the time, be successful. Right? That's the biggest thing for me, man. Just seeing them. So, and then from TV, it's just being great in your role. Right? I don't try to overtalk anybody. Like, I'm not trying to steal the show or have an ego or make it about me. No, it's about the two teams that's playing. And, if my audience is a 35-year-old nurse that is watching the game on her lunch break, can she understand what Trey is saying during the game, right? My audience may not be Christian who knows basketball, or, like somebody that knows basketball. So when I understand that, it's like being a star in your role, right? Taking that and just, putting all of that into one, and then you get Trey. It's like, because there's no egos involved with whatever I do. So I think when you take just that nurturing aspect, that going the extra mile, just wanting to see people win, that big brother, that being that love, having that love for them, I think you get success. I think it's a recipe for success. Yeah,
I agree. And specifically on training, because this is something that I'm kind of curious about. I know all these things take patience. You're talking about working with in high school, working with students and working with players and stuff like that. Everything that you do takes patience, because you have to lead people. Right. So you can't lose your cool all the time. You have to be patient with them. But in training specifically, because you're working with players, you're working with guys, and you're teaching them things, how much patience does it take? Because obviously these people aren't perfect. Players aren't perfect. It's going to continue to take time for them to grow and develop in those areas. So what is the patience aspect for you when it comes to training? Like, what's the balance with that?
Oh, it's you gotta have patience. But this is the way I look at it. People had patience with me. I know I wasn't the easiest, I wasn't the smartest, but I've been very fortunate to work with some high level people that are very well versed in the game. So we speak the same language. So now and with the athletes, with the professionals that we work with the professionals that we work with, we're able to really learn from them. So it's like, wait, hold on. So what you see in the game?
Yeah.
Wow. So you got a 6'11", he blitzed the screen, or, oh, you want to go under, you want to get a foot. Like, now I'm able to learn from you. So it's like we have patience with each other, because at the end of the day, I don't know it all. So I'm still learning.
Okay, Trey, you got a big announcement to make, and I'm not going to make it for you. I'm just going to roll out the red carpet and let you go for it. So what you got going on, Trey?
Man, I don't need the red carpet. But, man, this is something that I've been working on for some time now. And next month, I'll be dropping a book, man. I got a book coming out. It's called The Winning Language. It's called The Power of Relationships, Loyalty, and Integrity. And I'm blessed to make that, announcement with you, man. I've been working on it. So, yeah, man, I got a book coming out, y'all. Me.
I know this is something that you're excited about, because we've talked about it a lot. So before I want to get into some of the specifics of it and what it's about. Where did the inspiration come from for it?
Shout out to Dr. Renee Meeks and Dr. Tarsha Gilliam. I mean, they have been phenomenal, and it started with them. It literally started with them, man. I was doing a small podcast kind of like this, and bro, they just presented. They were like, Trey, you should write a book, man. You should put out a book, because humbly, I've won everywhere that I've been, right? From Mitchell to high school to college to GA with Coach Wade. And people always ask me to speak. And I'm not I don't like getting up in front of crowd. Like I don't want to toot my own horn. But, they made me feel comfortable in myself to say, you're not tooting your own horn, bro. You're a winner.
Right.
You're a winner. So that's where, the winning language, that's where we came to winning language, man. And what's the winning language? For me, relationships everywhere I've been. Loyalty everywhere I've been. Integrity everywhere I've been. That's what I took from every stop that I've had. And that's how we got the winning language.
So something that we talked about is, obviously people know your sports, your basketball. It's what you've done forever. But the way that you constructed this, the way that you and the team constructed this and put it together, is so it's palatable for anyone to read. And how important was that to you?
That was very important, because sports transform to life.
Yeah.
And this isn't a sports book. This is a leadership book. This is a practical book with constructive language and certain methods of communication, effective communication languages of leadership, right? For winning. You can read this book and you can be a nurse. You can be in the media world. You can be a doctor. You can be a coach. You could be a basketball, but you need these things in life, just like you need them in sports, right? When you talk about being successful, when you listen to successful people speak, they all talk about relationships. They all talk about being loyal, and they all talk about having integrity. And it's not just a sports book, right? This book will give you a ton of information on just winning in life, right? Not just basketball, not just football, right? But I'm going to tell you some stories in this book of how I've been able to win at Mitchell High School as a 21-year-old assistant coach, and we lost the state championship game as my freshman team. But to win the state at Mitchell with Andre Turner, win our third one, or to go to IMG and win a national championship, and to win 106 games at the University of Memphis, and like I've seen what winning looks like.
Yeah.
But I've also have people in my life that are winning. And they may not be the richest, but they're well off, right? They're happy. They're happy, right? That's what I mean when I say well off. Like, they're happy. That's winning to me, right? Because no one can put a number on winning. No one can it's happiness. It's whatever you define winning as. So the winning language, the power of relationships, loyalty, and integrity.
Yeah, and I think, obviously, you know me, I'm going to be real. Like, I'm not trying to stroke ego or anything, but I think what Dr. Meeks, and excuse me, what's the other lady's name that helped?
Dr. Gilliam.
Dr. Gilliam. I think what they see is that it's not an accident that you have had success at every step of your life and wherever you've been.
Right.
That's what I see.
No,
because I know you well enough to know your work ethic and what you do and your principles and your values. And I think that's why this book can be so valuable for anyone, because we all have relationships. We all can be better communicators. We all can be better leaders. We all can do all these things better. And so I think it's really cool, especially coming from someone who has really unique life experiences.
Right.
Not many people have done the things that you've done and walked the path that you've walked. So the fact that you're able to share intimate stories and personal stories about what
that
you've
everybody
done,
can relate to,
that anybody can relate to.
And this is, and I mean, cause y'all Christian.
No, you're fine.
When you talk about the book, right? I wanted to make it for people that have talent inside of them that maybe the public eye can't see, right? You're not the tallest. You may not be the smartest. You may not be the best talent, but these are the laws that work for me. And it's the 5 laws. It's the law of reciprocity. It's the law of going the extra mile. It's the law of excelling in your role. It's the law of teamwork. And it's the law of mental toughness. And that's self-explanatory, bro.
Right.
So when you talk about you need those in life, right? Not only that, you need them in sports.
Right.
But when you talk about life, you're going to go through things, right? You're going to have to be mentally tough. The extra mile, there's not a lot of traffic in the extra mile.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people ain't doing it. The law of teamwork, it takes a team to succeed. That's why, where we are in our life. And just paying it forward, right? Just the law, just paying it forward, man. Just when you help me win, I'm gonna help somebody else win.
Right.
All right. And that's kind of where I am. And, just like I said, the law of just excelling in your role, right? Being a star in your role. And those are the 5 laws that have helped me be successful, but not just me, but help you be successful, right? That I've seen you do it, right? Or help some of these athletes or help people in life. I mean, and you talk about people that have already seen the book and kind of read, they're like, wow, I can't wait to read it, man. So I can't wait to share it.
So Trey, do we got a release date yet? Are we allowed to give that out yet? You gonna keep it under wraps?
Man, the team and I, Dr. Meeks, Dr. Gilliam, man, we're looking at June 26th. But man, it's crazy. But we're gonna drop the cover soon.
Awesome.
We'll drop the book cover soon. So you'll see in the next couple days, week, I'm just gonna, whenever we decide it, we're just gonna put it out.
So now that you're at the finish line of it, close to the finish line, at least a little over a month away from the release date, does it feel good to just kind of relax and breathe, or what was the process like? Was it a fun process
Bro,
for you?
This is teamwork. I couldn't do it alone. I could not do it alone. Doc, man, I keep giving them credit, bro. Dr. Meeks, Dr. Gillen, because they were phenomenal. They still have been phenomenal. And I've been knowing Dr. Meeks for since I was in 15 years now, 20 years now. Yep. So, bro, like, it's just, man, it just feels good. It's humbling. It's humbling to know that I have a story that people want to hear, but it's not an autobiography. It's something that you can relate to. Yeah. It's something that's going to help you. It's different type of communication. As a leader, it's different type of communication methods that are going to help you be the best leader, but also inspire you and inspire the people that are working not under you, but working with you. Yeah. And if you're not at the top of that totem pole and you're an underdog like myself that had to figure it out and had to grind, you're going to relate to the stories that I'm going to tell you, because it wasn't easy and it's still not easy, right? We're still out here grinding, man, 6 a.m, midnight, when duty calls, I'm there. So for me, being able to tell those stories and also knowing that, wow, you can take it and be inspired by it, I can't wait for the world to see it.
I love it, man. I'm excited for you. I think that's absolutely awesome. I'm glad someone talked you into writing a book and told you that, you have stuff that's worth giving. So I'm fired up for you. I can't wait to read it. Can't wait to check it out. I know a lot of other people will be excited to see it, but I think we're going to get out of here, wrap it up. It was awesome to see you, Trey.
No
Glad
doubt.
you came through.
It's always a blessing, man. So once again, the winning language, the power of relationships, loyalty, and integrity.
Get ready for it. It's coming June 26th. It's coming.
It's coming soon.
But no, I appreciate you coming through. It's always good to talk to you, man. I'm extremely proud of you. If you told me 5-6 years ago, Trey would be writing a book, training some of the top athletes in the world, ESPN Plus, bro. I mean,
not me, bro. But it's saying, proud of you, bro. Like, I know your story. Yeah. Like I said, And that's why I wanted to, when you and I talked about it, like, to be able to make this announcement with somebody that I know genuinely love me, that I love, that say, bro, we started this journey together, right? We started this journey, like this is something we started together, bro. So, and we're not stopping here. You know, we're not stopping here. So, man, that's winning language. That's relationships. That's loyalty. That's integrity.
For sure. I appreciate it, man. If you're checking this out on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment. We appreciate it for sure. Head over to bluffcitymedia.co. Check out everything we got going on over there. Do not forget to cop Trey's book when it comes out June 26th. Trey, I appreciate it, man.
Much love, man. Love Memphis.
Thank you for listening to this episode of One on One. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to the Bluff City Media YouTube page. We will see you back here next time.